running a little rich. It didn't seem to want to rev out all the way. It still ran great, but like I said, when you really get on it, it just did not want to rev out all the way. The only gear I really was able to get it to rev out and actually hit rev limiter was first gear, which I wasn't trying to hit rev limiter, but I caught myself a lot of times downshifting in order to, to spice it back up to make it, get back into the power. At first I thought it was gearing. Maybe I was geared too high, but I have stock gearing, so I didn't think that was it. So it led me to believe that it needed to be rejetted. I ended up rejetting it. I put a 42 pilot in it. It didn't do great at all. I put a 45 in it and it does perfect. It idles perfect. It cranks super easy. There's no popping on backfire or on decel. On the main, I had a 178 in it, which to me what was right around what I needed to be, but I guess I was just way too rich. I ended up right now I'm sitting at a 168, so I dropped quite a bit, and it seems to be, a whole nother different machine. Like I said, I haven't really been trying to, but it's definitely revving out all the way through each gear. If every once in a while I'll catch myself hitting rev limiter through like third and fourth. And y'all may say, well, is that breaking it in? Well, it's not like I'm doing it every time. I just do it every once in a while just to, when I'm rejetting, just to see how the quad is reacting to each jet. And it's definitely doing way better. It's definitely revving out all the way like it's supposed to. The pipes ain't turning red. I don't hear no popping, no backfiring. And yeah, it's just running 10 times better. It's actually, like I said, just revving out all the way. You could hear it. Man, that thing screams. I readjusted the valves. I made them a little bit tighter this time, and with the rejet, it definitely made the performance a lot better. Because she's popping up even easier now. It was popping up super easy, but now it's just like it's hard to keep the front end on the ground when I'm really on to it. And I haven't really been onto it much. Maybe like 2 or 3 times. But other than that, we just kind of roam around trails and roam around the shop just to make sure she's doing great, running great. Like I said, the ticking is pretty much gone. There's like a tiny bit, but you can't really even hear it. But I didn't want to go any more tighter than what I did. The stage 2 cam, I think called for 5 on the intake and 6 on the exhaust, so I went 1 down on each one. I ended up putting 4 on the intake and 5 on the exhaust. But that's stock, so pretty much that's what I did, because I think stock is 4 in, 5 out, so that's what I did it at, even though stage 2 recommends 1 above on each one. But like I said, I went a little tighter just to be sure they don't come loose as quick as they did the first time. But there she is. Like I said, man, she's doing great. I will be putting up everything that was done to it. On top of my head, I'll start what's done to it. I'll start with the motor, which most should know by now. The crank is a +3. The piston and bore is a 416 with 12-to-1 CP piston. The head has been port and polished from Off-Road Power Sports. Check him out, man. He did a great job on that. It has +1 oversized Ferrari valves, new valve seals as well. We also shaved the flywheel. Off-Road did that as well. I think he ended up taking a pound off of the flywheel, so it's definitely revving a lot quicker than the stock flywheel did. But he did a great job on that too. I do have to bump the idle up a little bit higher than usual because of the Lighten flywheel, because when I start going down, it just doesn't want to idle. So that's why idle's a little bit high, because the shaved flywheel. It has +2, +1 Burgard A-arms. I think that's how you pronounce them, Burgard. And like I said, the shocks, they're there for now. I think he's going to end up putting 450 shocks on it. The front wheels are offset as well. So the A-arms are originally +2, and then that'll be +1. So the whole front end is like +3. Because you know the A-arms are +2, and then the wheels are +1, like offset. I think it's plus or minus. I don't remember, but it pretty much makes it sit even wider. Like if I was to put stock wheels on it, it wouldn't sit that wide. As you can see, the brake pad's sticking out some right there. That's because the wheel is offsetted out to make it +3 overall. So yeah, +2, +1 A-arms. The Nerf bars, they're just Alba. Your standard Alba Nerf bars. And then I got these right here. It's supposed to help with the engine, direct the air to the engine to cool it off. And the fronts are Douglas wheels. On the rear, on the wheels, we went 10-inch all the way around. So the rear 10s as also, they're Bosch Racing, and the lug pattern will fit a Yamaha or a Honda or LTZ or pretty much anything really. Because I know Honda and LTZ bolt patterns are identical, and then they also have the Yamaha setup. But they're 10-inch all the way around. That way it sits level, and when he plans on trail riding it and stuff, he won't be bottoming out as much. We do have a rear skid plate for it. I have not put that on yet. I was meaning to do it last night. I just didn't get to it. I still got to put the front skid plates on too on the A-arm, so he don't beat the polished A-arms up so much. It has stock swing arm, like I said. It's got the oversized oil tank on it. It's got, you know, the air box, so where you can put your battery and stuff inside it. It's got pro taper handlebars. And I mean, the list just keeps going on. It's got brand new bearings all the way through the whole swing arm, new swing arm bolt. It's got new carrier bearings. It's got an aftermarket rotor, brake rotor. All the A-arms we went through and put new bushings and all that. And the A-arms, it's got brand new ball joints, tie rods all the way around as well. It's got new steering stem bushing, new rear axle, which was Tud's new. Yeah, I mean, the whole works. Like I said, I got a whole list. It's way longer than what I'm saying now. It'll probably repeat some of the stuff I already said, but yeah, he put the new plastics on it as well. Race fenders, new tires all the way around. As you can see, they still got the little things on it. We also ended up having to put another transmission in it. Well, not another transmission, but I ended up breaking the transmission down and replacing one of the gears because second gear was blown out. I'm not sure how, because before I broke it down, it still ran. Second gear was fine. It did smoke like a train and tick like it was about to blow up. That's why we broke it down. But upon breaking it down, I found that second gear was blown out. The crank was ready to give. The piston had like a needle-sized hole on the top of it. The stator had a couple wires inside that were messed up. Like I said, I can't believe it was running how it was, but it was running great, even though, like I said, I mean, it was smoking and ticking and just all kinds of shit. But yeah, he's got new hubs in the rear as well, as you can see, to match, well, kind of match, I guess. I'm trying to think what else off the top of my head without going back and looking at the list. Yeah, I'll pull up the list and we'll go through the list on what all was done to it. But it's a lot. It's definitely a lot. He has a stock steering stem at the moment, but my boy has a Burgard +2 steering stem that we're thinking about getting, putting on it. And like I said, the 450 shocks. We're probably going to end up putting the steering stabilizer on it, even though it handles great with the stock shocks. I know a lot of people are bouncy, but on the shocks we did do bushings and all that, and this one's actually not bouncy at all. This actually does great. The handling is pretty good, but I would definitely like to see how it feels with upgraded suspension and the steering stabilizer. Yeah, we ended up not doing 12 volt because, I mean, it fires up every time, usually without any issue. It does take a little time to warm up. Even if I don't put the fan on, it takes its time to warm up, especially the idle. At first, I got to give it a gas for like a minute or so, and then it'll sit there and idle all day long, which I don't let it idle that much unless I got the fan on, and even still, I don't like to let it sit there and idle. Just because it got so much work done to it, I hate for it to overheat. But as you can see, I flipped it. I also ended up changing the fan. I had it straight wired, but every time I went to start it, it would the light and the fan would cut off, and you could tell it was kind of struggling. So I ended up switching it to right here, so I could just turn the key on, and whenever he wants, he could just hit it. The fan and the light are both hooked to this, so that way he could just I feel confident in the jetting because usually when you're too lean, your pipe will be turning colors and turning red, and as you can see, they're both perfectly the same color. They're actually a little dirty, but it hasn't changed colors. No blue, no red. It did turn kind of a gold color. I guess that's because I was running it rich at the beginning, which is okay. I'm glad that I did run a little rich. That way it helped the motor stay cool a little bit. And but now that we have the jetting, I've been riding it, and the pipes haven't changed any kind of color. Yeah, I know a lot of people say, why don't put no RTV on? Man, it's a 400, man. I've ordered the best gasket kits for this 400. And all of them come with the gasket up here is like a shim. It's not really paper, it's like a shim. So when I put it on, man, it just wouldn't leak. I swapped it out for another one, it still did the same thing. So I ended up putting a little gray Yama Bond, I think it was called, and it hasn't leaked since. Yeah, I think he's also going to end up changing this, but I'm not sure yet. I really wish we would have powder coated these. That way to make them look better instead of chipping, but I mean, then again, it's not going to be Garage Queen. She is going to be rode, and she's going to be rode hard. That's why we did the extra precautions on stuff like that, on overheating and stuff like that, because he is going to be riding the wheels off of this thing. But that's just another update, I guess, on the 400 and how she sits. Like I said, she sounds great, and I'll be putting a parts list too today, just so y'all can see. Not behind us.
Hold on, we got the phone. What the man? God, straight home.
3 400 EXs. Here go another 400 EX right here.
Get this picture for them damn
Nothing but Hondas. 400X right there, 300X right there, 450 right there.
Here they come, here they come.
Nothing but Hondas.
Hurry up for the Yamahas come fuck it up.
3 Hondas, 3 more Hondas.
We outside with it. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
There he goes.
So on the 400EX part list, I'll put some pictures of the part list up as well. But to start with, we got brand new front plastics, which is the race cut Mayer, I believe that's how you pronounce them. the black front plastics. We put brand new tires all the way around. We put rear brake and aftermarket rotor on the rear. It's got port and polish head. It's got brand new valve seals, swing arm bearings. It's got carrier bearings. We had to get a new frame because the other frame was twisted, so we got a new frame and had it powder coated. The black shocks were powder coated. It's got a brand new uni filter in it. It's got brand new crankcases because the other ones was cracked. I'll show you that here in a second. It has a brand new gas tank plastic as well to match the new front plastics. It has a brand new seat cover on it which says 400EX on it. Brand new Pro Taper handlebars. We had to put a brand new second gear in it because his second gear was blown out, like I've mentioned before. It's got brand new steering stem bearings and seals, as well as bushings. It has +2 burr guard A-arms, +2 braided brake lines. It's got polished wheels all the way around. The flywheel has been lightened. All ball joints and tie rods, swing arm bolt plus bearings. It has +3 hot rod stroker crank. It's got heavy duty head studs. I think, if I recall right, they were GT Thunder, I believe. It's got the 416 kit. It's got the air scoops, as y'all can see in the pictures. Brand new chains and sprocket. It's got brand new timing chain guides, as well as a timing chain and a timing chain tensioner as well. It's got brand new chain guides as for like the chain and sprockets. It has a YFZ 450 fan on it. It has the aftermarket front brake cap on it. It's got 2 rear hubs, brand new. It has I believe the K-Saver was I'd have to look that up. I think it was a DWR or DRW, one of those K-Savers. It's like a poly or something like that. It's supposed to be great for them. It's supposed to absorb the impact. It's got full Empire exhaust, like as you can see in the pictures. It's got +1 for air valves. It has the aluminum box. Airbox has oversized oil tank. It has full skid plate. It has complete heavy duty clutch kit as well. Stage 2 hog cam, Dynatec CDI. It has touch axle, all shocks and A-arm bushings. I'll throw up a picture here in a second. I think that's all. I'm probably leaving some stuff out, man. It was just so much and spread out over so much time of building it that it was hard to keep track of every little thing that we did. So I'm probably missing some things. If I do think of some things, I will definitely update it and let y'all know. But overall, that's pretty much what we done to it. We left the rear plastics alone because they were in pretty good condition, and he really liked the yellow and black look, as well as like how the handlebars look, the Pro Taper. So I think, and overall it turned out well. It rides great. It has tons of power, and I appreciate y'all watching.